This is Nikki. Welcome back to Ranting with Ricardo. We are here for another recap review because it's my channel and I can do what I want. Now I told y'all I'm gonna be coming to y'all with these new, well not new, but recap reviews of P Valley because guess what? P Valley is coming back when? On Friday. And I want to finish out this first season. So this is episode 6. You will get episode 7 on Monday and episode 8 on Tuesday. And then maybe we might do a let's talk about it or maybe like a little call-in situation to talk about the first season and then what we want to see from this new season coming up on Friday, talking about the previews we've seen, new people we've seen so far, and everything else like that. Okay, now if you're new to the channel and you like the content over here, please like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. If you're not new to the channel and you don't like the content on this channel, still like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. Because guess what? You may not like me, but somebody out there does. Now let's get into this recap review. Now we open with Autumn and Mercedes, switching their wigs, switching their outfits, with Meg's hot girls playing over the whole entire thing, and they out here getting this money, honey. Okay, just different wigs, braids, afros, blonde, short, long, finger waves, uh, Chico sticks, pickles with what is that? What's that? A candy cane in it or a peppermint stick? Everything. They doing a damn thing trying to get this money. So Mercedes ends up going. Autumn and Mercedes are together. So Mercedes goes to the tennis court to see Terica. She hasn't been able to talk to her. Obviously, Mercedes was in jail, so she wasn't able to have Terica on the weekend that she thought she was going, have Terica. And Terica is mad at Mercedes, and she's mad at her for not keeping her promises. Um, she's mad that she's not with Mercedes. She quit dance, and Mercedes is like, "Don't do that. You love dance." And she's like, "No, I just love being around you." So really, that was the only time to be around each other because Mercedes doesn't have full custody of Terica, and even though she is trying her damnedest, trying her hardest, she is traveling the highways and the byways, doing what the Lord told her to do to get her child back. She still has major setbacks. The club, like dancing at the club, Patrice Woodbine stealing all her money, Hope whooping Patrice's behind down to the Kroger's, getting arrested, and while that's happening, swinging on a cob, being put in jail, finding out that, not only did her car get put in impound, but she also had some parking tickets and moving violations that transferred into warrants. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. So, Mercedes hasn't been able to be there like she should have been for Terica, even though she wants Terica. And I still want to know how old was Mercedes when she had this child? Because, first episode, she was like 25, retiring age for a stripper. So, doing the math, she had to start stripping at 18. But Terica looked older, way older than 7. So how old was Mercedes when she had her? Now Shell come over there because obviously they on the tennis court and she down there with Terica. She tells Terica to go back to her lesson, and then Shell tells Mercedes that she needs to do better, and she has to prove not only to Shell but to a judge that she could be a good mother and actually spend time with Terica and actually be there to make sure that Terica becomes a well-functioning, well-adjusted member of society. Then Mercedes said something about Cortez, which is the baby daddy turning in his grave, and Shell was like, "Child, please, I burnt his cheating ass up. The only thing he is some ashes on a mantle." And I was like, "Well, damn." But I want to know how old was Cortez because Shell look up there in age, and how old was Mercedes when Terica was born. I just need to know these things. Like so many questions, so many plot holes. What is going on? Now we see Lil Murder and Keyshawn down to the parking lot of either a little convenience store or liquor store, whichever. They sitting in the parking lot at the little picnic tables. And Keyshawn got the little baby Regal and everything. And these two fools end up making a deal that's both beneficial to the both of them because the video of Keyshawn performing has ended up on World Star, and they saying that she the girl of the week, and Lil Murder song is the song of the week. So they on World Star, they living it up. It's a good thing. They trying to keep the momentum going. So the deal is, you do the music, I'll dance. We'll put it on social media, and we're gonna blow the hell up, and we're gonna build you a brand. We gonna get on this social media tip, which shows that Keyshawn is very smart. She's smarter than a lot of people. She's smarter than a lot of people give her. Like, I'm trying to say this. She's smarter than what people give her for. Like, she understands how social media and branding works, and that's exactly what she's trying to do for herself. And now she's trying to do that for Lil Murder. Now, with the helping him with this whole like getting the music and her dancing, because I feel like she thinks that the cheers of the crowd and the admiration and the likes and all that, that is great for her self-esteem. This also can be her way out, away from the baby daddy like to put his hands on her and try to keep her at home because he's trying to beat down her and her talents and her self-confidence. I feel like that's what she's trying to do, and Lil Murder's just trying to make it out here while keeping Uncle Clifford as his main. Now, Keyshawn tells Lil Murder that, bitches have to want to fuck you and niggas are going to have to want to be you. And a shout out to Uncle Clifford because that's her line. Uncle Clifford got rules and lines, and all I'm saying is, most of this applies to life. When it comes to you doing music or doing anything else that is pushing you into stardom that's going to make you money, the women are going to have to want to have sex with you, and the men are going to have to want to be you, or the other way around, depending on how you move, how you live. That is your business, not mine. And while they're talking about everything, Lil Murder notices the bruises on Keyshawn, and she was like, black girls don't bruise. I said, the lies you tell, I bruise very easily. Somebody could, bump into me and I got a bruise very easy. And they decide after everything to become partners in this whole thing. They start posting on social media, and also now that they are partners, Keyshawn is his beard because she on his arm. So obviously they gonna think that he is a raging heterosexual. Okay. Now we see Uncle Clifford. Sorry, don't want to misgender them. She's at home, stressed out about this notice, stressed out about the pink possibly closing, stressed out about this motherfucker casino, stressed out about Ruffin and the words and all this. Is just like, this is a stressful time, but also a little happy because Lamarcus has handled the Keyshawn, aka the Mississippi situation, and still wants to take her on a date. So it was like, oh, Uncle Clifford, look at you, getting loved on, feeling love. Proud of you, boo. Now, we go down the stairs based off of how the scene plays out, and we see grandmother, who is played by Loretta Devine. She is getting it. She is dancing. She's smoking hella weed. She's having a good time on her lonesome. And we find out that she is blind, but she can still get down. She can still show you hoes how to do it. You will never do it better than her because she will always do it better than you. Now her Uncle Clifford get to talking, and she like, who this man texting you? Got you smiling and everything. Clifford tell her to mind her business. And then they get to talking about the foreclosure and the fact that, the both of them took a lot of like accumulated a lot of debt for the Pank. Before it was the Pank, it was Ernestine's, and accumulated debt there and signing stuff he wasn't supposed to be signing, not looking at the finances, not looking at the books, not looking at anything. So both of them have accumulated debt, and the debt ain't going nowhere. Ain't nobody got the money to be paying down about 55K worth of debt. So, you know, they both worried about, losing the Pank. And Uncle Clifford tell her, maybe you won't get down there and pray to the Lord. And she said, God don't want her to suck his dick because she still got all his teeth. And I was like, well, ain't that something? Didn't need that visual, but ain't that something? You know, go off, I guess. Now, grandmother says maybe you want to invite, that man, or as we know him, Lil Murder, or as we find out his real name, Lamarcus, over here for a date. Since y'all can't go out nowhere because the backwoods, backwards thinking homophobes, uncouth thinking people, when they see members of the LGBTQIA plus community, like to do things like grape juice them, shout out to Bondi Blue, or, unalive them. Shout out to the people on TikTok for teaching me how to say, that without saying that. Now, we see Duffy. That's the dude that was hiding pills in the bank that Uncle Clifford was holding on to, and then Duffy slide Uncle Clifford some money for that. He is also, get this little man or whatever. And he down to a motel room in Chuckalisa, taking drugs, getting head from some girl, got the girls naked from the waist up and the waist down, counting the money, putting the pills in the bag. It's a good time had by all. He just living his best life. And somebody come banging on the door. So he grabbed the gun from under the bed and opened the door. It's Big L. Big L got the liquor. He come to talk a little business with Duffy. And Big L whole thing is, you know, I want to work for you. I want to, hide your pills or whatever. And, you pay me for that. And Duffy was like, but Uncle Clifford don't want nothing being held in the bank. And, the bank about to close. And Big L was like, don't worry about all that. I know where to hide the ish. Just, make this deal with me, make it work, and we can get it cracking. Now, Duffy says, okay, I'm going to work with you. I don't know what Uncle Clifford gonna say, because what she gonna say. And Big L was like, if she asks, I'm just tell her, you once saved me from dying, now it's my time to save. Now it's my turn to save you. So really trying to help Uncle Clifford and save the bank, because whether like people like Mayor Ruffin or the people in the town like it, the bank, while it has its problems, has helped a lot of these men and women out here. Okay, saved Big L, gave Diamond a job after the war, has graduated a lot of girls from up out of there, trying to do the best, going traveling the highways and the byways, doing what the Lord told the Pank and Uncle Clifford to do to help these folks out here. So, just trying to do that. And then Duffy was like, hey, now while I'm making this deal with you, first time around 5K, great and everything, don't tell Gidget I'm here. And Big L was like, I'm not going to tell her, because that's right. We don't tell. If Gidget catches you, it's going to be problems. Now, down to the nail shop, Uncle Clifford is down there getting suited and booted for her date. And just so happens that Eloise, the secretary to Mayor Ruffin, is, down to the salon too, trying to get her nails done, because that is her alone time. That's her me time. That is her break from the BS that is Mayor Ruffin. And we find out she used to be, she was a dancer at the Pink, and then she became the house mother, and then graduated from there, and got her a good job, or a semi good job, working with the mayor. And Uncle Clifford is like, I hoped you graduate up out of the Pink. I hoped you go from being a stripper to a house mother to somebody's secretary making the good government money. Now, drop the tea, whether it's smoking spicy hot or lukewarm or just cold. You better give me something. You better give me something to help me save the pain. You forget this was your home, we was your family. You better help. I know you better help. And Uncle Clifford tells her, you wasn't the first girl I graduated. No, not you wasn't. You were the first girl I graduated out of the Pink, and you better make sure you're not the last. And I was like, oh, well, okay then. Mm, look at you being a boss, telling people how it's gonna be, not what it is. Autumn and Mercedes is down to the diner that we saw in, like, I think episode 2, and they eating. And making plans on how to get the rest of the money. Autumn slides Mercedes some money to get her car out of impound, and the fake IDs to go up there to Boonesville or whatever to get the rest of the money. And Autumn starts dropping like real, financial advice to Mercedes. She's like, next time you want to hide your money somewhere, put it in a shell company, offshore accounts, all this stuff. Just like hide the money, make the money work for you, and get it, and then do everything all over again. And then Andre come in. Him and Autumn don't speak. They don't really look at each other. He go to the I don't know what that was. I just heard a little beep beep or whatever. But he goes to the counter, pays for their meal, and Mercedes was like, "Oh damn, you finessed him without even having to look." And I was like, "Oh yeah, she did. She did do that. That's talent right there. That's real talent. I ain't never seen nothing like that. I don't know about y'all, but have y'all seen anything like that? I don't know." Sorry, I gotta put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I forgot to do that. So, we see Andre. He's down to the Kyle farm with the Corbin and his brothers, and they trying to finish the deal to sign away the land. And like the brothers are treating not Kyle Corbin like he a house slave or something. Like he ain't a member of the family. Like he is just the redheaded stepchild. And we find out that it's actually, even though the brothers have like shares in the land, like they all own a piece of the land. The daddy left Corbin the farm that is like one of the main things that they are trying to sell to the casino, like sell so the casino could get built. And Corbin, like before, wasn't trying to sell the land. He wants to lease the land because leasing the land allows them to make money for the future. Like it's going to be money that makes itself. So you don't sell it and then get a amount that you could just blow through. You are now getting money monthly because the land is being leased. And that's what Corbin wants to do, but the brothers don't want to do that. The brothers just want to sell the land because they don't want nothing else from their daddy, because they still mad at him for drinking, playing with guns, and having outside children, aka Corbin. And then also they blew through all their little money that was left to them in their inheritance. So they really trying to get more money. And it's just like, how is that our fault? How is that Corbin's fault? How is that anybody's fault that your daddy was out here being a Rolling Stone? I'm sorry, but that sounds like you should have went and got you some therapy. But then I have to think about the type of characters these are, like they are, and where the characters are located. I was like, ain't enough therapy in the world gonna help with that, because they all about the Confederacy. And I was like, it's giving very much your racist, Wayne and whatever the other brother's name is. Yeah, it's giving much that. And then it's just like, y'all are about as dumb as a box of rocks. Corbin is right. If you lease the land, your money will make money for you. You will have a legacy, and then this is money that is consistently rolling in. If you sell the land outright, then y'all all get a portion of some money that you all blow through, and then you come around trying to hurdle little Corbin to get his money, or you start raising hell and throwing a fit because you feel like you were cheated on this casino deal, even though y'all the ones who are trying to push it through, and y'all gonna end up blowing y'all money at the casino as well. Child, so Wayne, Corbin is not trying to sell it. He really trying to get them to say, we gonna lease the land, we gonna lease the land. And Wayne, the brother, turns the gun on Corbin, and then Andre to make Corbin sign the papers, even though that's not what he want to do. He don't want to sell, he want to lease. And I'm just like, I would have signed my name Donald Duck. You ain't getting nothing out of me. And then come to find out, the gun wasn't even loaded, and I was just like, y'all should have whooped his ass right then and there. You ain't gonna turn a gun on me to get what you want. Please. So Lamarcus comes to the house for a date with Uncle Clifford and grandmother, and they having a good kiki. They talking, they eating. She's grandmother is telling stories about Ernestine's, which is now the Pink, and then she gets into the history of P Valley and how, they pushed a lot of her words, not mine, they pushed the hose down near the river. And, all the brothels, all the juke joints, and the shake joints, except for the Pink, would eventually burn down or flood. But by God's grace and the levee that is there that the Pink sits on, the Pink is still, there and ain't going nowhere. Because, that has helped a lot of people. And I'm like, as many people that have come through Ernestine's is now the Pink, I would figure it could be a historical site because they've broken like a lot of artists in there, but maybe they don't consider that historical in Chucalissa, or maybe because it's going up for foreclosure, y'all. Certain people in the city council and the mayor wanted to like that land for a casino, they wouldn't have let that happen anyway. So, you know, grandmother likes Lamurda because Lamurda got that good weed and is like, here, smell this. And she was like, okay, he can stay. And I was like, oh, okay, getting in good with the family. I see you. Mind you, he had gotten a text from DJ Never Scared, like, you supposed to be in the studio. Where you at? Are you coming? And he says he is, but then Clifford was like, you gotta leave or something. He's like, no. So he's torn between where he wants to be. Like, he really wants to be with Uncle Clifford, but he also wants his career to pop. So it is a big old mess. Now we see Keyshawn, she blowing up on social media, but she needs to be careful because her baby daddy crazy. How crazy enough to possibly try to unalive that lady. And I don't want that to happen, but that is the situation. She's in a DV situation. And as much as the people around her want to help, you can't help somebody unless they want to be helped. And I feel like her way of trying to get out of the situation is, using social media to blow up and working with Lil Murder so she can get the hell away from that crazy ass man. Now, as the girls are talking to her about the whole thing, she sees Autumn going into Mercedes' locker because at this point, Mercedes gave Autumn the combination to the locker because Autumn needs somewhere to store the rest of the money because she can't store the rest in her refrigerator. And you don't want to store the rest in that raggedy ass apartment because somebody might break in and try to steal the money. Okay? Don't want to do that because you want to keep all the money to yourself. Now, Autumn says, because Keyshawn was like, I don't think Mercedes would like you being in her locker. And she was like, she the one who gave me the combination. And unlike her, I share. So she gives her the combination because she also has a gun. And the reason why she said that to her is because she notices the bruises on Keyshawn's face and arms that she's been trying to cover up this whole time. And it's like, you say black girls don't bruise, but they do. And as much as you want to cover all that stuff up, we can still see it, Miss Girl. Now we see Keyshawn dropping it low, doing the tricks and having the people throw the money, and you see all like these the emojis and the likes and everything coming up across the screen because the people in the crowd and the people on the internet are giving her the attention that she wants and so desperately needs, and are starting to give her a way to concoct this plan to get the hell away from Derek, the crazy ass baby daddy, who's trying to keep her barefoot and pregnant at home and still in a DV situation because I think he personally feels like she can't do no better than him, and she obviously can because she's very talented and she's very beautiful. And if she was able to flourish outside of you, you would see that you were just a blip on her radar. So Keyshawn, after she gets off stage and she's talking to Uncle Clifford, she's like, "Hey, we're gonna have a murder night here. On Sunday, it's gonna be me performing on a pole and Lil Murder performing his new song, and that's how it's gonna be. We're gonna bring all the money and all the people down here to see us." And it's just like, "Oh, look at her bossing up as well." And Uncle Clifford is so proud because she's like, "I taught her so well." And I was like, "Yes, you have." Now, man come over to Mercedes' house to give Mercedes and Autumn IDs. Now Autumn was like, "You don't want that man?" And Mercedes was like, "Um, You don't go messing around in your own backyard. Now, I could do some things with myself to images of him, but not gonna do that. I'm celibate out here in these streets. And I was like, good for you, girl. Good for you. Now, Autumn asks where's the bathroom, and she ends up picking the wrong door, and she goes into the room that Mercedes is set up for Terica, and it's the room that she's been setting up for that girl for the past 7 years. Which, again, I want to know how old was Mercedes when she had Terica? How old was the baby daddy? And what was the situation that caused Terica to go live with Shell? I'm so confused. I am very confused on this story. I need a backstory. And she explains that the reason she stays in Chucalissa and doesn't leave, like people have been telling her to go to Memphis. That's where Coach is. That's where Coach wants to take her and put her up in a penthouse and uh down to the games in the skybox, or go to Atlanta because you could also make a lot of money in the clubs in both places. She's not leaving Chucalissa because her daughter is still there and she doesn't want to leave her because even though she doesn't have her full time and have her living with her, she still needs to be around her and see her almost every single day. Haley, aka Autumn, tells us what her daughter's name is. Her daughter's name is Autumn, so she chose her daughter's name as her stage name, which I don't know if she was just like, I'm gonna pick the first name, or she picked the name so she could still have her daughter close to her heart, even if we don't even know where the little girl is. We don't know if the little girl got swept away. Like, we know she got swept away, but we don't know if she's alive or not. And that's a crazy thing. And then the conversation getting deep, some tears are shed, and then Autumn tells Mercedes to do whatever she needs to do to get her daughter back. And I was like, oh, that is so sweet. Anyway, we see Andre. He's trying to convince his boss to lease the land and not have them buy the land. A, so they can save the company millions. B, so the Kyles can make money over time and not just make one lump sum right then and there. Now, Andre's wife, because I'm compiling this together because I don't want to have to go jumping back and forth. Andre's wife calls and she's a fine ass doctor, and she's like, oh, she's proud of Andre because he tells her about saving the company millions, but he also tells her about going above Ruffin's head and making this deal when Ruffin wants the Kyles to sell the land. And she's like, oh, I don't know if that was right. I don't think you should have done that. And he was like, he's a greedy ass, shady ass person who needs to get his hand bit sometimes. And she ends up calling Andre an outsider to Chuckalisa. And he was like, I'm not an outsider. This is my home. She said, no, your home is in Atlanta with me. I miss you kissing me, touching me, hugging me, rubbing my feet, cooking me dinner, taking the trash out. So she missed her husband, obviously. And I don't think he truly missed that lady, because when she was really trying to talk to him, he hung up the phone on her. And I was like, damn, damn, your husband don't even want to talk to you. This is a mess, honey. Now we see Keyshawn and Lil Murder in their partnership down to the studio trying to make the music, and Keyshawn is being a good beard out here promoting Murder Night, and while everybody else is in the studio trying to figure out, and that's like Wody, the manager, DJ Never Scared, and some more people trying to figure out why Lil Murder ain't been in the studio and been missing sessions. Keyshawn, like the good beard she says, he was busy with me, and sits on his lap and gets to kissing him. And DJ Never Scared is like, and some of the dudes in the room was like, and Wody looked like, I don't believe nothing y'all got to say. And I was like, okay. Keyshawn called him the weird ass mother down to the funeral home. And I was like, he may be a weird motherfucker down to the funeral home, but he paying attention. He people watching out here. He's assessing the situation and taking in all the information so he could put together everything so he could figure out what is going on with my client. Now, we back at the Pank, and in the locker room, Eloisa showed up, and she's talking to the girls, having a good kiki with them because she used to dance there and she used to be the house mother. And her and Uncle Clifford go back to the back to have a little reunion and spill all this tea. And she basically lets Uncle Clifford know, they ignore me, so I am the wallpaper in there, and I'm silent as a mother. So I know everything that's happening. I know everything everything that's about to happen because they think they could just talk in front of me like I am stupid, like I can't hear, and like I'm going to stay silent forever. So basically, she lets it be known that they want to build a casino in Chucalissa, an outlet mall, well, outlet malls, and then a suburb called Casey's Plantation. And I was like, Casey's Plantation? Oh, nope, Where can I vote no on this whole situation? I'm not even a resident of Chucalissa. I don't even think Chucalissa is a real place. But if it is, I want to be a resident so I can vote against it because ain't no way y'all gonna make a suburb called Casey's Plantation. What in the backwoods, backwater, back thinking, back talking, trailer trash, racist, Confederacy ish is this? What is going on here? Now, Eloise lets it be known that, they can push the casino through without the residents knowing and voting. They could do all of that. And, they could do it by way of I think the town or like the council and everything. And if you want, to stop and save the bank, all you got to do is let the people know and get a petition started so the people are able to vote on this matter. So thank you, Eloise, for being silent wallpaper and the tea bringer because this is the ammunition we needed to get our lives together. Now Uncle Clifford comes and bails Patrice Woodbine out. And I'm like, why you bail Patrice out? I don't like her. You could have left her raggedy ass in there, stole all Mercedes' little money. And she bails her out because Uncle Clifford wants Patrice to use that big ass mouth she got that she likes to use to preach the word to people and be smoking weed pens and doing whatever she's doing with the pastor down at that church she left that eventually she stole Mercedes' money to open her own church, wants to use her big ass mouth to help stop the casino from coming to Chucalissa. Because you can go preach and you're going to go do whatever you need to do to make sure the people know about the casino and make sure the people sign the, petitions and make sure this the casino once again doesn't happen. And she's like, I'm not going to help you. Uncle Clifford was like, I put my club up. You going to help me because you owe me. Now, Autumn is at the mounds and she's watching the sunrise and she's watching the town and she calls Andre to say goodbye and she tells him, "You are exactly where you need to be." And then he mentions like his wife doesn't think so, and she says goodbye and hangs up, and he just left in the hotel bed by himself, just wishing he had somebody on his side to lay next to him, come lay down by his side. Now, we see Maine. He is down to the store. I feel like this is the same store that Keyshawn and Lil Murder was at on the first uh when we first saw them this episode. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But he is down there giving his ankle bracelet to the fat boy who he has babysitted all the time. Now, after he gives the little boy, or the fat boy as he calls him, the ankle bracelet, he walks past the wall where all like the flyers and posters are, and he sees a missing persons poster. You know who's on the missing persons poster? Autumn. Who's Autumn? AKA Haley. Her name and her face on it. He's like, what is going on here, man? We like, what is going on here? So is Montavious Hill her man? Is he looking for her? Is she the one he running from? What is going on? And that was it for this recap review because it's my channel. I can do what I want with P Valley Season 1, Episode 6. I will be back to you with Episode 7 on Monday, Episode 8 on Tuesday, and possibly a little chit chat, talk about it, possibly a call in so we could talk about our thoughts about the first season, what we hoping to see in the second season, and talk about some of these new people and little previews we've seen. Now, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, and turn your post notifications on. If you're not new to the channel and you don't like the content, still like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people because you may not like me, but guess what? Somebody out there does.